Hi, guys. Yesterday, Joe Biden had a speech addressing the nation about a possible assassination attempt on former President Trump. If you do not see all of the information that is possibly available now, I did do a deep dive on exactly what happened on Saturday night. I did post a video yesterday. If you do want to check it out, I'll link it right up in the eye and I'll link it down below. Yesterday, Joe Biden had a speech and it was after I actually posted the video. So I said, oh, well, might as well react to the speech here. So that's what we're going to be doing. And he had a lot of moments inside of the speech. He was supposed to pre-record it and then release it afterwards. But as soon as people were saying, oh, it's after Joe's bedtime, he's just going to go to sleep, he decided to just do it live. And he's not a person for that at all. Like, obviously, Joe Biden has a lot of faults. Obviously, Joe Biden does not know how to have coherent sentences. So Joe Biden is not the right person to go live and talk to the people live. He needs to have it pre-recorded so we can put multiple camera angles and 5 camera angles, and then it's like, oh, it's nice and new and fresh, and no, it's not. It's just trying to cover up for Joe Biden's seniority. But the thing is, here, he's trying to unite America. He's trying to have his Unite America moment. But the thing is, he can't have the Unite America moment if he's the one that said that he wants to take Trump around the back and beat him up. He said this in his own words. Here's the clip. I posted a video on TikTok yesterday going through all of the Democrats' narrative and the Democrats' rhetoric, but then they'll go and say that the Republicans need to take their rhetoric down. But the Democrats have been targeting Republicans in this fashion for the last 8 years. So what are we doing here? But the thing is, Joe Biden, obviously, no one believes him when he says that he wants to unite America, obviously. But the thing is, people can change over time. People can have different opinions. But when people go and they say we and they don't say me or they don't say I, then nobody believes that they're actually changing and that they actually accepted that they did something wrong. If you say, oh, in the middle of an argument, we both need to work on things, and that does not that we is not including me, then what you're really saying is you need to stop the rhetoric and I can just continue doing whatever I want to. So this is his Unite America moment right here.
Americans, I want to speak to you tonight about the need for us to lower the temperature in our politics.
He's reading from a
And
teleprompter.
remember, while we may disagree, we are not enemies. We're neighbors. We're friends, co-workers, citizens, and most importantly, we're fellow Americans. We must stand together. Yesterday's shooting at Donald Trump's rally in Pennsylvania calls on all of us to take a step back, take stock of where we are, how we go forward from here. Thankfully, former Trump is not seriously losing.
Former Trump. First of all, we're going to be stopping and pausing, so if you want to see the full thing, you know where to find it. Former Trump. What are we talking about? Former Trump. You mean former President Trump, not former Trump. Already?
I spoke to him last night. I'm grateful. He's doing well, and Jill and I keep him and his family in our prayers. We also extend our deepest condolences to the family of the victims who was killed. Corey was a husband, a father, a volunteer firefighter, a hero, sheltering his family from those bullets. We should all hold his family and all those injured in our prayers.
Okay, I would love for me to believe this, but what God are you praying to? What God are you praying to, Joe Biden? Because the same God that you have been claiming that loves doing all of these preposterous things that you're trying to push in the Democratic side is not the God that anybody believes in. So what are you talking about exactly when you say you're going to pray? What type of God are you praying to? Because we all know that you're a Christian. Are you praying to the same God as us? Because if you're pushing all of these preposterous deals and these preposterous bills to allow kids to just transition without their parents even knowing about it, then that's not the same God that we have as Americans. You're trying to unite America, but your Unite America moment is not working here because of your rhetoric before.
I spoke about an ongoing investigation. We do not know the motive of the shooter yet. We don't know his opinions or affiliations. We don't know whether he had help or support.
See, I love how if there is ever a shooting with Paul Pelosi and stuff like that, it's a Republican right-wing extremist. And then if there's an attempted assassination of a former president, of America, they're like, oh, well, we actually don't want to jump to conclusions here. We're going to wait until we have the full FBI. And, the phone is locked. There's a password on the security reasons on why we can't just like put in the password here. There's passwords on the phone and we can't crack the code here. He has an iPhone with a password. Nah, we can't get into that. No back doors. Nuh-uh. And if there's a Republican, break into his phone, hack the mainframe. What did he post on Instagram? He posted Ben Shapiro. He's a right-wing extremist. No, that's exactly what they do for right-wing people. But the left-wing people, we have no idea. When he was in high school, he was such a bad shooter that he didn't even get into the shooting group. That's all that they know. Well, that's it. And yeah, he was part of a BlackRock organization, I guess, because he was in a commercial, but that has nothing to do with BlackRock, guys, right? So, first of all, that's exactly what the Democrats like to say if there's a Democrat on the forefront. And if there are people, like I say, it's always not their fault. It's always, they were pressured because the oppression that they faced. And what are you talking about here? We know everything that we could possibly know about this shooter on his phone. And the FBI has his phone now. So what is the FBI doing? Why couldn't they get his phone immediately, release all this information? Because they know that it's going to be harmful towards the Democrat. And they don't want to release this information because they're partisan hacks. They really are.
Or if you communicate with anyone else. Law enforcement professionals, as I speak, are investigating those questions. Tonight, I want to speak to what we do know. A former president was shot, an American citizen killed, while simply exercising his freedom to support the candidate of his choosing. We must not go down this road in America. We've traveled before throughout our history. Violence has never been the answer. Whether it's with members of Congress of both parties being targeted and shot, or a violent mob attacking the Capitol on January 6th.
Of course, you're going to talk about January 6th, but how about we talk about the shooting of a representative and the congressional baseball team? The congressional baseball team a few years ago was just playing a game of baseball, and then all of a sudden Steve Scalise gets shot at. So are we really going to sit here and say that this is the same on both sides? It's not the same on both sides. Yes, people felt strongly. They went to the Capitol building. Guess what they did? They didn't destroy the Capitol building. They did not put it up in flames and burn it down. What did the left-wing protesters do all throughout the summer of 2020? They burned, they looted Targets, they stole everything. They're still stealing stuff till today. That's why everything's locked up in America. You can't even get a charger from Walmart anymore unless you go and ask the worker and then they unlock it for you. You can't even get a cologne because so many people steal it. There's so many things that are locked behind shelves now at Walmart and Target. Even cereal is behind bars at some CVS's. So are you really telling me that this is the same exact thing on both sides? This unity thing is not working because you're connecting the dots between things that have nothing to do with each other. January 6th was a protest at the Capitol building that ended badly, of course. But the thing is, at the end of the day, the only person that was killed on January 6th was Ashley Babbitt, which was a protester for President Trump. She was shot by trigger-happy cops. That's what happened. You're not going to sit here and say that this is the same situation as January 6th. If you want to make the claim that this is the same situation, then it would be the same situation as a lunatic that supported Bernie Sanders. I'm not pointing the blame at Bernie Sanders. I'm saying that this was a Bernie Sanders supporter that went and shot a congressional baseball team and shot Steve Scalise. That's exactly what happened. So are we going to sit here and make the same exact claim that the lunatic that went to Paul Pelosi's house and tried to hold him hostage is the same situation as today and is the same situation as the Steve Scalise situation? And it's definitely not the same situation as January 6th. At all. So to make the connection here is not something that is going to unite America. It's going to further the divide here. If we want to focus on rhetoric, start with yourself and start with the Democratic Party, because the Democratic Party, like I showed yesterday, and I will show again today, has a full compilation video's worth of rhetoric that they use to target Republicans.
Or brutal attack on the spouse of former Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, or information and intimidation on election officials, or the kidnapping plot against the sitting governor, or an attempted assassination on Donald Trump. There is no place in America for this kind of violence, for any violence ever. Period. No exceptions. We can't allow this violence to be normalized. You know, the political record in this country has gotten very heated. It's time to cool it down. We all have a responsibility to do that.
But you need to start with yourself, Joe Biden. You can't say we have an obligation to cool things down in America and to not say yes, and that includes myself. Then we could be talking about a solution here, but you're not including yourself in this whatsoever.
Yes, we have deeply felt strong disagreements. The stakes in this election are enormously high. I've said it many times.
No, the stakes in this election are not enormously high. The difference in the stark contrast between the two candidates have just revealed themselves. It's not the stakes in this election, and this is the last election, and the threat to democracy is with Trump, and Trump is a dictator, and Trump is a Hitler, communist, dictator, killer. It's not like that whatsoever. You, and the Democratic side, just made your opposition to Donald Trump just more clear. And the difference in the stark differences between these two candidates just revealed themselves yet again. That's the difference here, and that's what he should have said. The differences between Trump and I just revealed themselves. If you feel strongly, take it to the polls, not to the gun range and practice and try to shoot and assassinate a former president. That's not how we do things in America. That's what he should have said. I will take down my rhetoric because I can see how it can lead to harmful things in the future. That's what he can say, and he can continue to say, I urge my fellow Democrats to take the same approach. And I urge the fellow Republican colleagues to take the same approach on this standard too. That's what he can say.
That the choice in this election we make in this election is going to shape the future of America and the world for decades to come. I believe that with all my soul. I know that millions of my fellow Americans believe it as well. And some have a different view as to the direction our country should take. Disagreement is inevitable in American democracy. It's part of human nature.
Why is he whispering now? Okay, listen. America is not a democracy. I'll tell you that again. America is not a democracy. It's a democratic republic. It's a constitutional republic, if I can be more precise in my language here. We are focused on the Constitution, and we have a republic. We are not fully democracy because we don't go out and vote on every single thing. We elect officials, and those officials vote for us. That's exactly what they do. So again, we're not a democracy. We're a constitutional republic. So the president of America should know this.
It must never be a literal battlefield, or God forbid, a killing field. I believe politics ought to be an arena for peaceful debate, to pursue justice, to make decisions guided by the Declaration of Independence and our Constitution.
Okay, but are you going to take back your words that you said in the debate stage?
There's an extremist movement that does not share the basic beliefs in our democracy, the MAGA movement. We stand for an America, not of extremism and fury, but of decency and grace. All of us now face the time of testing as the election approaches. And the higher the stakes, the more fervent the passions become. This places an added burden on each of us to ensure that no matter how strong our convictions, we must never descend into violence. The Republican convention will start tomorrow. I have no doubt they'll criticize my record and offer their own vision for this country. I'll be traveling this week making the case for our record and the vision, my vision of the country, our vision. I'll continue to speak out strongly for our democracy, stand up for our Constitution, and the rule of law.
You please save me your words. You caring about the Constitution. You are the most Second Amendment against president in modern American history. You and the Democratic Party are trying to take away our Second Amendment right to just carry a gun. So what are you sitting here saying, oh, well, I care about the Constitution. No, you don't care about the Constitution. Come on now. Come on, man. You are sitting here urging Democrats to take extreme gun control measures to ban the American people from protecting themselves and their family. So are you going to sit here and make the claim that the average American citizen is a threat to democracy if they hold a gun? There's a gun safe right behind the camera right here. There's not going to be a shooting at all because we are safe with guns. Generally, in America, we are safe with guns. But there's extreme people that steal the guns from other people, just like the shooting with Thomas right now that was just trying to shoot and kill former President Trump. He stole his dad's gun. But the thing is, you're supposed to lock your gun in the safe, and then you're supposed to make the code that your son doesn't know unless he has a firearm and he knows the gun safety and all that. But the thing is, there was obviously a lot of flaws because of the fact that there was bombs that he could have made, this shooter could have made, that was inside of his car at this event. So are you going to sit here and make the claim that this shooter was an average American? No, he was not. He was not the average American practicing gun safety. He was not. He was not a law-abiding citizen, because law-abiding citizens don't shoot at former presidents. I mean, it's very easy here.
Call for action at the ballot box. No violence on our streets. That's how democracy should work. We debate and disagree. We compare and contrast the character of the candidates, the records, the issues, the agenda, the vision for America. But in America, we resolve our differences at the battle box.
The battle box?
You know, that's how we do it, at the battle box.
The battle box. Okay, so I would love to see this. Just like the golf tournament with Joe Biden versus Trump, I would love to see this golf tournament here, and I would love to see the battle box too. You have the Joe Rogan, yeah. We have Joe Rogan over here being the commentator. Oh, let's go. Oh, 3, 2, 1, you're out. And then Joe Biden's just like, on the floor. That would be really hilarious. And then Trump body slams Joe Biden. His spine would break. That would be hilarious to see. And whoever wins the battle box, as Joe Biden likes to say, wins the election. That would be great. And then you go, and then right after you have a golf tournament. That would be a really cool sight in America if whoever wins that wins the presidency. That would be amazing. That would be so entertaining. We would live stream this here at Rugio Studios. It would be amazing. It would be something that we would all watch. We would all laugh, and we would all be entertained by it. But the thing is, that's not going to happen at the battle box because Joe Biden just made a gap.
Not with bullets. The power to change America should always rest in the hands of the people, not in the hands of a would-be assassin. You know, the path forward through competing visions of the campaign should always be resolved peacefully, not through acts of violence.
Why is he whispering?
You know, we're blessed to live in the greatest country on earth, and I believe that with every soul, every power of my being. So tonight, I'm asking every American to recommit, to make America
great again.
What's made America so special?
Make America great again.
In America, everyone must be treated with dignity and respect, and hate must have no safe harbor. Here in America, we need to get out of our silos, where we only listen to those with whom we agree, where misinformation is rampant, where foreign actors fan the flames of our division to shape the outcomes consistent with their interests, not ours. Let's remember, here in America, while unity is the most elusive of goals right now, nothing is more important for us now than standing together. We can do this. You know, from the beginning, our founders understood the power of passion. So they created a democracy.
They did not create a democracy. They created a constitutional republic. I will tell you this again. Constitutional republic is you electing your representative members and your congressmen, and they vote on behalf of the people. That's a constitutional republic. This is not a democracy. A democracy is the people voting for every single bill, every single thing. That's not what we, the people, do, because we go to the ballot box, not the battle box. The ballot box, unlike Joe Biden likes to say here, we go to that every single November, and we go to the primary to elect our representative members in our party before that election. So the thing is, here, we don't have a democracy yet again.
Asian imbalance, a chance to prevail over brute force. That's the American we must be. An American democracy where arguments are made in good faith. An American democracy where the rule of law is respected. An American democracy where decency, dignity, fair play aren't just quaint notions, but living, breathing realities.
I don't know about that. Okay, so first of all, are you going to sit here and say that there was absolutely no questions raised during the 2020 election? There was tons of questions, and Joe Biden's team was trying to shut them all down instead of actually giving them the light of day. That's why former President Trump had to go and sue to the Supreme Court to actually just have them hear his case here. And once he went to the Supreme Court, then they worked out all the evidence there. But the thing is, Joe Biden, if it was him, he would have stopped that. So are you going to sit here and say that this is a tried and true measure and the world looks up to us? No, I think the world is laughing at us right now, or the world was laughing at us during this debate between Joe Biden and Trump. They really were.
We owe that to those who come before us, to those who gave their lives for this country. We owe that to ourselves. We owe it to our children and our grandchildren. Look, let's never lose sight of who we are. Let's remember we are the United States of America. There is nothing beyond our capacity when we do it together. God bless you all. May God protect our troops.
Okay, so may God protect our troops. I think he should have ended off, may God protect Trump, because of the fact that Trump was just targeted and he was almost assassinated. So a lot of people are not liking this speech. I mean, it only has 800 likes. It just got another dislike, if you know what I mean. But the thing is here, that's Joe Biden is the exact reason on why YouTube actually blocked the likes and dislikes ratio, so the American people can actually see how much the people dislike Joe Biden. So are we going to sit here and say that YouTube would have allowed to go through the likes and dislikes to be hidden if it was still under Trump's presidency? No, they would say, oh no, look, everybody does not like Trump. You know, it's just so funny how much things would have been different if Trump was still president from 2020. It's just crazy to look back and see how many things changed after Trump left office. And it makes me miss him so much. And that's exactly why I'm wearing this Let's Go Brandon shirt. But the thing is here, are we going to sit here and say that life is better under Joe Biden? Under Joe Biden's rhetoric? Under Joe Biden's presidency? Under Joe Biden's reign on America? No. Because now the whole entire world is on fire. We're paying dollars more at the pump every single gallon. Because of why? Because of Joe Biden and his policies. Yes, presidents don't just have a scale and they can just set the price for gas and everything. No, of course not. I'm not saying that. But the rules and regulations that you pass or support actually influence the gas prices, believe it or not. Because, of course, if we produce more, the price goes down. If we produce less, then the price goes up. It's basic economics, supply and demand. Joe Biden does not understand this very, very simple thing. I urge everybody on the Democratic side and the Republican side, even though Republicans really don't even do this, but still, if you have rhetoric that are too harmful, this could be the repercussion of it. And I really urge Joe Biden, particularly, and the Democratic people to hone down the rhetoric, because if this assassination attempt was successful, this would have been a very different America. Thankfully, this assassination attempt did not go through, because if it did, there would be a civil war, and it would have been of the likes that we would have never saw coming in America. Joe Biden would have had a total different speech. It would be a scary place in America. It really would. It did not happen, thankfully, but instead, one person died and two people got badly injured. One of the people that were killed was a firefighter, like what Joe Biden was saying, that protected his family. God bless him. May he rest in peace. And because of this lunatic shooter, the event got canceled, and people were scared of being killed and being scared of being shot at. Very disgusting. This is exactly what happens if you turn up the pressure, turn up the heat, turn up the heat, turn up the heat, and then this is what happens. I think that Trump is going to try to unite America, and he's going to do a lot better than Joe Biden could ever dream of doing. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for listening, and we will have a full episode on Wednesday, which is tomorrow, technically.